Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. May host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Psych Defender of the Fatherland, of an exciting 1 versus 1 on Vilshanka. In these, we got Nosmarkov on here for America, Freedom, Democracy. The first armoured division tasked with penetrating the German lines and smashing them apart. Here with Heavy Cavalry, recon support and mechanized company triple infantry. Versus in the west, we got Dilusi0n fighting here for the German army, Deutschland, the 15th Panzergrenadier Division with Luftwaffe, Firestorm and Spec Ops. Double Volkskriegs here, by the way. Double rifleman here for Nosmarkov. Volkskriegs setting out there. This one setting out. Second rifle squad, they're almost done for Nosmarkov. Rushing straight for the centre victory point here. Getting control of this, of course, can still help a bit there. Somewhat, of course, we're still going to need fuel. We got full gauge relations, M1 carbines there versus the Kar98K. Fulls moving about, Heinz there leading his squad carefully. Remember, guys, why I was put in charge of this squad? Because you was the only one left of the old one. Well, yeah, but that's another story. But how is the story working? Like, how did you survive everybody else dying to a machine and gewehr? Shush, Fritz, shush. Best not know. Grabbing the southern fuel point here. Sturmpanier sneaking about here, pushing up north. Bit of skirmish here. At this range, of course, the riflemen obviously have the advantage of the Sturmpaniers. Sturmpanier assault rifles tend to drop off a bit more compared to regular assault rifles, which would still struggle at that range. More barbed wire here from Nosmarkov in the center. We got Heavy Cavalry out for Nosmarkov for freedom and democracy. Got the Heavy Cavalry there ready. Would of course mean mines, rangers possibly. Most likely the Persians. We'll have to see, of course, how much you make use of the rest of the doctrine. At least we're seeing sandbags up here. Excellent play there. Some players do like to make use of the rifleman defensive structures, to assist, but others tend to just, go straight for the Pershing. The more they use the doctrine, the more interesting, at least I personally think, it gets. Folks are there standing on watch, waiting for those ugly Americans to appear. North air point secured. So far, Dilusi0n is leading nicely here versus Nosmarkov, was going there for the segmentation squad, wanting to put more pressure field-wise, rather than just shooting pressure. More for capping pressure. There we got Sturmpan's rifle. There we go. Bases waiting there, hoping for Nosmarkov to hit and then sort of pop in there. A bit of a trick you can do. Rather than quickly falling back, as we got the local conspiracy there to Dilusi0n. Nosmarkov rather than fight such engagement. Falls back instead, now turns the tables here. Around the centre instead on Dilusi0n. Probably try and rush with the rifle here. There we go. Escalation's being focused down. Basically acting as spake, drawing far along the other rifle to close in here. Good move there by Nosmarkov. Tactically very sound, and there you go. Folks, they push back with heavy loss. Now the rifle in heavy cover, so Folks is out in the open, forcing away there. Up here we got Sturmpanz closing in, catching Nosmarkov off guard and pushing back a rifle squad. Now the Folks on the way there for Dilusi0n, trot on the way. Got the reason to sneak up towards the southern victory point. Sturmpanz ground the point here, Folks moving out as well. Drops reinforcing, rifle squad at half health. And a bit more pressure here, truck on the way. There's likely going to be a battle group head for Dilusi0n that could be mechanized regiment, but it could be either way really. I'm assuming battle group headquarters, since mechanized has slightly fallen off, but again it does tend to make resurgence from time to time. Rifle squad, he needs to be careful by getting focused down there by Dilusi0n's men, fighting fiercely for the fatherland. No doctrine yet chosen there by Dilusi0n. Nosmarkov there's taking up for the lieutenant for some extra infantry pressure here, plus of course 50 calibers and the anti-aircraft half-tech. Two caught here. An active cavalry rifle, a bit too slow to turn around. For some reason they keep twirling about there like a bunch of ballerinas. Goddamn squad, I'm proud of you. Those are some damn good twirls. Too bad about Carl and Bob dying because we're too busy twirling, but damn good twirls. You make me proud. Proud squad, they're being assaulted by the Volkskriegs, need to retreat here. Almost got the point here, and rather than reinforcing, almost got the lieutenant out. And it is indeed the battle. No, it is a mechanized regiment here for Dilusi0n. It tends to be a bit of a coin flip at times, increasingly I feel, but at least that means, of course, there's some variety there in a sense. You never quite know what you're up against, but in this case, mechanized regiment, that means Lux. Leichte Aufklärungspanzer on the way here for Dilusi0n. Most likely to put pressure on Nosmarkov, which means he's going to need bazookas because he's got the lieutenant. I mean, the anti-aircraft half-track can work as the Lux, but it's pretty tricky and usually do not want the half-track to sort of solely handle the light tank. That's usually asking for trouble. Here in the car front here, the Dilusi0n keeps up pressure on Nosmarkov, on America. Rather than setting out, in this case, we can see soldiers under pressure, pushing in, troops not being fully reinforced, ambulance following up here for Nosmarkov. Volksgrenadiers there repulsed, and the South victory point has been claimed here by Dilusi0n and the 15th Panzergrenadiere of North. Volksgrenadiers coming in there, noting no assault rifle upgrade yet here for Dilusi0n. I imagine they'll be coming soon enough, unless he's planning a fast move into the assault package with Firestorm, though most Oberkommando players tend not to be huge on MP40 packages, so it could just as well, you know, not happen. In fact, more likely, it's not going to happen. So I'm figuring here assault rifles for Dilusi0n's Volksgrenadiers. At some point, Dilusi0n's going on point here, Dilusi0n's finding up there as well. Back here, healing and forcing, followed his rifleman. And there you go. Sturmpeich out to Lieutenant. That's having a bad move here by Dilusi0n. Getting into effective range of the bar and the Thompson while attacking across negative cover is pretty much just a winning bet here for the Lieutenant. Suffering no real losses, in fact, from that at all. So that was definitely not well executed by Dilusi0n. Up north here, so two squads engaging the Volksgrenadiers. Should have a decent chance here of beating them, unless something goes horribly wrong. But he doesn't move his reasons in cover. Still, the M1 carbines basically overwhelmed the Volksgrenadiers. We've got pushing for the car plant Lieutenant, but this time he is beginning to suffer more losses. We've got the Volksgrenadiers pulling in. Lieutenant was too low on health and needs to retreat. Would be a shame here, I think, for Nosmarkov to lose the Lieutenant. We got the Dilusi0n on the way there for Dilusi0n. For the 15th Panzergrenadiers, lending it from a nearby Panzerdivision, since a Panzergrenadier definitely would not have access to that. They would have most likely just regular 222s, 221s, and 234s in terms of armored cars. Little fun fact there. Reasons reinforcing, half check on the way there for Nosmarkov. Weapon racks are so far locked away. There we go, Sturmpanzer flanking halfway to execute Brandhandgranate off there. And there goes Sturmpioneer striking in defense of the cut-off point, gunning down those Americans ruthlessly. And the tree seemingly slightly bursting into fire there. There you go, eventually two up close was the rifleman. In this case, too low on health, I think, to really keep fighting ours. They probably had a good chance that they had just a bit more health. Troops reinforcing healing. Still no assault rifles here from Dilusi0n. Keine Sturmgewehr. Once more, I do slightly wonder what he's thinking about sandbags up here. Nosmarkov clearly intent on something in there. In fact, it might be going to be different for Dilusi0n to actually lay up sandbags on his cut-off point, so to help make it easier to defend against anything Nosmarkov might do. But there you go, Luke's pulling ahead here. In the south fuel put in fact starting in with the sandbags. Very good move there by Dilusi0n. Nasty work there against Nosmarkov and the 1st Armored Division. Got the half track out there. And the question of course becomes, how will he react to this Luke, how will he handle it? We got the weapon action on the way there. That is definitely what is needed. He will have to get bazookas. But again, half tracks can theoretically do it if you sort of set up correctly and, you know, get up some good hits from the first gun. It can actually do some heavy damage to the Looks. The trick though of course is getting that set up. Sandbags up on the cut-off point. Nosmarkov begins to realise he needs to be able to defend this a bit better. Up north point they're being hit. So far the Dilusi0n is in a pretty good situation victory points wise, so they are both reasonably close to each other. Neither player is in that regard leading over the other. Back here troops in reinforcing, bazookas good to go. So there you go, a bazooka team to help deal with the Luke's Aufklärungspanzer in the south here. Luke pushing back the rear shots, hammering away at them with the 2cm autocannon, which was pretty much the standard weapon for the vast majority of German reconnaissance vehicles. Fun fact. Got Luke's rolling ahead here, half to the opening up and not quite hitting there, partly because their main gun had been firing at the Volksgrenadiers there, so it had to reload. Overall, Nosmarkov is actually aggressively spread out across the field here, which in some ways of course can allow him to, you know, try and find weak spots, but with the Lukes on the field it has some risks. Since the Lukes can quickly move in and shut down any sort of say the easier parts and then move into where it's more needed. But there you go, you got a more sort of seriously detailed anti-vehicle group here from Nosmarkov. Now with the half track and the bazooka team, you can sort of try and begin hunting it down. And Dilusi0n here following up with the Puma, the 234-2. One of the seriously outliers in armoured reconnaissance vehicles, though the 234 series would overall have several of them, but the 234-2 was probably the one that was least produced, as they quickly turned away from the idea of a 50mm gun turret, as they were not comfortable with the cruise with it. They were worried the cruise would use too much like a tank, and so the 234-2, aka the Puma, was scrapped in favour of the 234-3 and 4, which were equipped with either Pak 40 or a 75mm Sturmkanone. So that way, provide fire support for the armoured cars and whatever else, but of course could not operate independently, and we're not likely to make the crew think they're, you know, operating a tank. It's a little fun fact there. But there you go, got the Puma up here for Dilution with its 50mm cannon, roughly in terms of efficiency was the same as the Panzer III's last sort of 50mm gun. And there you go, engaging here the half track there, bad development here for Nosmarkov. He's not been able to escape with that one. Shears right through it like a hot knife through butter, leaving Nosmarkov with his anti-aircraft half track. Big win there for Dilution. And of course put some pressure on Nosmarkov that way. And of course furthermore removes one of the threats to the looks. So definitely not a good development here for Nosmarkov. He might want to consider a mine to maybe see if he can't catch up either of the two light vehicles and that way take them out with the bazookas. And otherwise he's going to have to stall for armour. Bazooka fire down the Puma. Nosmarkov keeps calling out GG. I'm not entirely sure he knows what that word means at this rate if he just keeps calling it out. Main G34 on the way there for Dilution to help deal with some old Nosmarkov units, which are mostly equipped with bars. Keeps up the pressure, that keeps up offensively, trying to just keep Dilution a bit on the back foot here and ensure he doesn't get too much of a lead in with the light vehicles on the field. The aggressive attacks from Nosmarkov. Still, I feel like mines would be a great idea for him. Puma there sniping off a few hits there, 4 kills. Not bad at all. As you upgrade the Lieutenant with the second bar. It would seem to be the answers now to that one. Bit unfortunate. Double barred Lieutenants are absolutely amazingly filthy in terms of just the damage output. 50 caliber on the way to help deal with infantry, can of course also be used as light vehicles. But you should definitely take up as soon as possible. Sandbags up here by the calf point. Puma snaps another poor soul with infantry support there backing it up as well. Nosmarkov in the 1st Infantry Division is certainly not having it easy, but they're not letting the Germans have it easy either. Puma now continue to patrol about there. The Achtrad, as it was known, would increasingly become the standard armoured car in favour of the 222, which was not really good in terms of off-road performance, and in fact was replaced by a 250 half-track modified to work as an armoured car. So a little fun note there. Another fun feature about the 234 was it also had a extra seat here and suspicion slit, so basically the driver could quickly shift seats from the front to the rear and quickly get out of there. A feature I believe also shared by Italian armoured cars. There you go, big push against the forces swarming over them and successfully forcing them away. Got the Lux Puma moving in to try and thwart Nosmarkov's infantry wave. That gets caught up here by the bazookas. We've got 2 bazooka teams out here for Nosmarkov. Extra nasty there. That's definitely where the machine guns will be quite handy for Dilution. It's trying to sort of stop this attack, but so far though the machine guns are not there. And Nosmarkov's pursuit here continues. There we go, more bazooka rockets could take out the Puma. Almost got her there, not popping smoke. There we go, smoke screen deployed, allowing the Puma to safely escape. In the south we got the machine gun there holding up in the push. Oh, that's actually the 50 caliber. So Dilution was able to just salvage both of his light vehicles, barely avoiding death by bazooka. But on the other hand, the forces were too slow to retreat, which too preoccupied with vehicles. In this case, Nosmarkov was able to secure a wipe on the Fulton. There's quite a loss there for Dilution. Could consider calling in some Rangers now actually, but instead opts for a second 50 caliber. No tech up yet, which could indicate here, at least for now, a stall for Pershings. And could certainly stop punish them Dilution, or this risk punishing if he just tries to play for the command tank. But then again, well, he actually seems to not be going for it. He is using the Lux Puma, but then it's actually going for the Schwerer Panzer quarters. So nice to see there. Some Obersalon could be useful. Sandbags up here. Thorough work. And there you go, fortunately in the carve point. Nosmarkov doing his very best to just stall Nosmarkov's fuel income. He's probably at this stage already figured out his opponent has gone for Heavy Cavalry, in which case he might be anticipating the Pershing. At which stage just trying to put more pressure on the field now is going to be quite effective for him. Of course if it fails, he's going to be quite vulnerable to the Pershing. Some Obersoldaten though would be, I think, quite effective as all these riflemen with bars. A couple of Obersoldaten with light machine guns in for assault rifles could do some serious damage, and that way put some pressure on Nosmarkov as well, alongside I think the Panzer IV. Nosmarkov following up for the mortar to provide ample artillery support for his men against those nasty Nazis. Lieutenant, 50 cavalry moving ahead here. Nosmarkov's force starting to look a lot more formidable. He might have a slightly rough start here against Dilusi0n, but he is turning the tide. He is beating the Krauts, punching them on their noses. Still, Dilusi0n doing his best here to stall Nosmarkov's fuel income, and again, stall a Pershing or any other tech he might be planning. Orbital in there for Dilusi0n, very good choice there. If particularly get that upgraded with anything, they're going to be, I think, quite useful as a tool versus Nosmarkov's troops, in particular several Orbital Dardan, can actually make it very difficult just to move about with a lot of, riflemen, as long as he doesn't do anything stupid like stand out in negative cover and just, take the hits. So there you go, almost got the first Orbital squad out. The Dilusi0n remains, though, without a doctor, and seems hesitant to make a decision for now. Well, there you go, first Orbital squad out there, going Achtung, and adding the LMG-34. There you go, right being caught here, taking heavy damage from flak 37 on the schwer-punted quarters, and of course the Panzer II. 50 cal getting hammered by the looks as well. Puma is ready to do anything, but isn't quite keen on it. Up north, Dilusi0n making a good push as well here. There's a Nosmarkov being caught here though by the 50 caliber. Nosmarkov forming up a solid defense there for America, freedom and democracy. The 10 moving ahead there. Bazooka team trying to take out the looks. Orbital and they're sadly pinned down here, rather preventing Dilusi0n from doing anything with them right away. Be unfortunate there for him. Though he should probably still consider maybe a second one. He could also consider another machine gun to help stall Nosmarkov's infantry in the other hand. But Orbital can do that as long as he doesn't run into the machine gun again. Yeah, you are sure are some Orbital. We ran into a Maschinengewehr. We ran into a Maschinengewehr. We totally did. Stop mocking us. 50 cover there with the MG-34. We got a big push here, catching the Puma there with the Sukas. Need to get the Puma out of there. Schnell, Dilusi0n. Schnell. Oh, Scheiße. He's going to get hit by the anti-tank rifle grenade if he's not careful. Yup. Too slow their response from Dilusi0n. Needs to pop smoke there, I think, and just rush everything else to back up the Puma before it gets knocked out. Unless he's winning. Yeah, well, it's too late now there for Dilusi0n. The Puma went down. That could have been preserved a bit better. And so now puts an Nosmarkov ahead then overall in terms of field presence. We'll see what Dilusi0n does next. Will he commit to additional Orbital Dardan? More Maschinengewehr, and what we do, we got Samex on the fuel point. Nosmarkov finally able to return the favour there to Dilusi0n. And right, he runs into a lot of issues with the Orbital Dardan's light machine guns and the Volksgrenadiers. He takes no chances and hates retreat fast. Trying to block off the retreat path there with some ghost sandbags. Trying to get as much damage in there, but not quite as effective as you hoped for. More to their blasting away. And Dilusi0n certainly is not doing anything with his manpower. Again, more Orbital Dardan here would be, I think, reasonably effective. 900 Granada flashing the lieutenant out in the open, or at least scorching him behind his cover if he wants to. Quickly occupying the church. They're forming up a strong point, which is going to be quite unpleasant there for any infantry nearby to stand by. And there we go. Push back the rifleman. Dilusi0n pushes hard, and he's also pushing the south there, trying to outmaneuver and Nosmarkov. But he has a bit of a blind spot here in the south. Like, he's repeatedly allowed Dilusi0n just to take the path up there and hit the fuel point, and that's certainly something that Dilusi0n has, I think, realised and is more than happy to take advantage of against his opponent. And certainly you should. Like, your opponent keeps making some sort of like obvious thing like that, you just keep punishing for it and just take advantage of it as much as possible. Nosmarkov not too far from the Persian, still 2 command points to go. Dilusi0n is not far off from the Panzer IV, though. You might want the Panther, and the way I do feel like second Orbital squad would be a really good idea. Troops are pressed, we got to push this, supported by Orbital Dardan and the MG-34. Almost got the few. Oh, he's in the wrong part of the sandbags, wrong part. Got the rifle moving in here. Still, that is once more that Nosmarkov is finding his fuel cut off. Dilusi0n very close to the Panzer IV. Of course, if he's made the correct read on Nosmarkov, he might again want to consider the Panther to better be able to deal with the Pershing. Now he goes for the Panzer IV here, in which case you should probably consider some Raketten there first. Because single Panzer IV versus the Pershing is not, I think, going to be super attractive there as an option for Dilusi0n long term. I mean, he could try and pull it off, but the Pershing certainly has some good opportunity to just wreck the Panzer IV if they're not careful. Whereas the Panther is a bit more of an actual threat. Focus on them reinforcing healing. Big push there. Again, constantly looking to harass and delay Nosmarkov's tech. Big 2 points wise is actually pretty close there. And there you go, Nosmarkov at the 20-minute mark can call in the Pershing. Dilusi0n is about to hit with the Panther 4, and that Panther 4 will find itself a bit outgunned. Just a bit. Pershing taking the northern route. Dilusi0n's got no other anti-tank weapons. He can go for the Panther tricks. He has not committed a lot of munitions to anything, or upgrade with anything, so theoretically he could go for the Panther trick for some added anti-tank, but he's gonna need a kidnap for maybe even 2 to sort of assist the Panther 4 as the Pershing, and otherwise just pray. So only got Basil appearing. All of a sudden, folks, was empty fed when we got the Panther 4 in south as well. And there you go, gonna catch the rifleman. Landing next and hit, almost taking out the entirety of Nosmarkov's infantry squad. And there goes Spare Panther Force joining in. That's a full wipe there against Nosmarkov. Very good. We're here for Dilusi0n. Mid to late game wipes against the rifleman tend to be quite impactful. So good work there by Dilusi0n. That's going to be a bit of a loss there for Nosmarkov and the 1st Armoured Division. Personally, is opening up his advancing Sturmpioniere back to hit that 23. So far, no sign of like kidnap. Is there anything else there from Dilusi0n indicating he's actually seemingly not too worried about the Pershing? North forces of the Luke support moving in here. Troops being suppressed there by the 50 caliber in the south. Once more making the move here. We got the final like kidnap there for Dilusi0n. All of a sudden, creeping Hetman trying to flank the position here. And there you go, Bazooka team's going for the looks. He's not firing at it though, and we got the Pershing as well. He could finally lose his light tank. Bit of unfortunate development there for Dilusi0n. He has a slight turn to there, seemingly extending a bit. And there we go. Almost getting the 50 caliber there with the orbital Dardan. Oh, he got it. He didn't even try and steal it. A bit risky, but would deny Nosmarkov an infantry support weapon. Of course, would mean he'd get on one himself. So that way, sort of deal with infantry. Also, the ambulance is exposed. Lost an infantry squad though. Should probably replace some of those losses by now. There you go. Pershing West, the Panther needs to retreat. All of a sudden, they got the cuff point. Situation a bit rough here for Dilusi0n. Oh, he lost the orbital Dardan. Just slow to retreat there, and the light machine gun got dropped. Almost got the MD-34 there. Troop ceiling reinforcing. Pershing pulls out, Akedno setting up. There we go, good hit on the Pershing, good hit. But Dilusi0n really needs to replace some of these infantry losses. Machine gun there, gonna get wiped out again. He's actually upgraded all of his men so much he actually can't pick up the light machine, and that'd be a bit of a break there for Dilusi0n. Since Rifleman with a bar and an LMG-34 would be quite a nightmare for Dilusi0n to have to deal with. Replacements on the way, but still no doctrine there for Dilusi0n. Still no doctrine for the 15th Panzergrenadiere. Heading there for the fuel point again. Dilusi0n is certainly very consistent in his harassment of Nosmarkov. Nosmarkov though definitely should want to take up soon. And of course with Dilusi0n the trick is going to be bringing up more armor to take on the Pershing. Yak Panzer to sort of back up as the Pershing would be, I think, a good idea. Could also go for the 2nd Panzer IV, in which case you might be focusing more on just murdering the infantry, that way isolating the Pershing more, which point he can deal with it better. The 2 Panzer IVs would be quite unpleasant here for Nosmarkov to deal with. Big push here though. Front hand grenade off, and there you go, lands a nice grenade there. Panzer went back, deal with those Yankees as they push through, and there we go, nice hit. Jack blown to bits. It's reinforced there with the Panzer IV. Got the range coming up, straight into line for the Panzer IV, but there you go, bazooka hits. At least one penetrates. Pershing those flanking up, we got mines, we got Kedman over there, go lands a nice in the Pershing Pioneers, they could get wiped out. Oh! Too slow response, and there goes Sturmpioneers, what nasty blow there to Dilusi0n. Means he's got no way of repaying his Panzer IV for now, which is definitely not good. Definitely a harsh loss there for Dilusi0n. Harsh loss, he can't go for the other Panzer IV in a few moments. But Chris reports he wants to do that. Or if he commits the Jagdpanzer. Or if he tries this out for the Panther. Now he does go for the Jagdpanzer, he does go for the Jagdpanzer to, well, hunt down the person. We've got a major out there for Nosmarkov, so he's finally taken up there. Troops are healing and forcing, not Dilusi0n. Oh, we got repair pioneers up, so he can repair, but still the infantry shortage is becoming a bit critical there for Dilusi0n. Still no doctrine either. At this stage, Luftwaffe could be an idea, or maybe Spec Ops. Farsturm, I don't think would be a huge winner there in terms of choices. More of an early game to mid-game doctrine. Does not really offer any sort of massive benefits in the late game to pick it there, so it's either Luftwaffe or it is Spec Ops here for Dilusi0n. Jagdpanzer's almost done. Caught by the Persian, get forced to retreat here. There you go. Jagdpanzer out there for Dilusi0n for Germany. Pershing bombarding away there with his 90mm gun. We got the Jagdpanzer seemingly bound there for the north. Then of course he should support it properly to ensure he doesn't get caught up with the bazooka. He stops up there, realising that would be a bit silly. Setting up for a southern push here, infantry, well, mostly machine guns, panzers and other support weapons with a bit of infantry moving up here. We got a bazooka drop in the middle of the road. Need to get the Jagdpanzer support in case the Pershing moves in, which of course it does. Again, machine moving up. Orbital and Jagdpanzer moving in, almost got a fuel point. There we go, lots of hits in the Pershing. Less than half a need to cover the Panther 4. Ah, you're doing it, you're doing it. Blitzkrieg, Scheiße. I don't want to die, Dieter. Not like this. Shouting in the Jagdpanzer, he really wants that Pershing dead and he gets it. It's not going to be worth it if he ends up losing the Jagdpanzer. They'd still be in a reasonable off. And there you go, till he called in. Oh, smoke called in on the support position. All of a sudden standing about here. Oh, Scheiße. I think he got too greedy there with the Jagdpanzer. He wanted the Pershing dead, so he's willing to risk it. And now he might end up, well, losing the Jagdpanzer. I mean, he's still got the Panzer IV once he gets repaired up and can go for some more Orbital, and still that was quite an unpleasant blow, I think, there. Grabbed the bazooka, then retreated. Panther IV pulling back for repairs. We've got Morbus on here for Dilusi0n. Still getting rid of the Jagdpanzer will nonetheless relieve a lot of pressure off Dilusi0n. Of course, means his Panther IV is in a much better spot. But force-wise, there's still a bit of a, shall we say, difference there between the two. Lots of support and dart here from Nosmarkov. 2 machine guns, 2 mortars. This one requires some aggressive panzer tactics, I think, for Dilusi0n to really pull through. Panther IV, they're being repaired. Actually, pretty close to fetching 2 troops. They're almost good to go as well. Still no doctrine here for Dilusi0n. I really think he needs to choose one soon. Scott on the way for Nosmarkov. Interesting choice here, but I'm guessing he's just focusing on the infantry support weapons, and that way leaving the Panther IV isolated. Got the doubles and then getting the lieutenant machines there being added to the mix, heavy and more light machine guns. So they're getting slowly bled out down to just 2 men, and there we go, on the run from the Hun. And before they're very close to 52, we got Lieutenant almost gotten away. Scott moving up, Panther IV's good to go. We'll have to see if he goes for another Panther IV now. He goes for something else. Pushing towards the centre, needs to be mindful of their surroundings. Should try and avoid any more losses like the Jagdpanzer there. At which point again he gets too over eager and then just accepts some perhaps slightly too silly losses. Looks the flanking about, he's going for the rifle here, isolated from the rest of the force. He's looking to that way, gaining it to this opponent. Not a bad idea at all, not a bad idea at all. Almost got a wipe, then again, and the wipe, that'd be great. Bar dropped off, he doesn't have any troops he can pick up except the Orbital Garden. Almost got the wipe there, almost. Gets away though, but gains 52 on the Panther IV, which isn't half bad there. Big 2 points wise, Nosmarkov has another lead here over Dilusi0n. Got another Scot on the way there for Nosmarkov, which is going to be hell there for Dilusi0n's infantry. Trying to go for the machine gun, almost got it there, almost got it there before treatment. Now we've got the Raisins advancing, of course, and they are just blasting away at the Panzer IV. Need to retreat with the Volksgrenadiere. Obersoldaten healing, reinforcing. Bit of defensive state here in the south from Nosmarkov. Could go for the second Panther IV now, commit to more aggressive anti-infantry tactics. Might be saying that for Panther or something else, but at this stage he'll probably just say another Panzer IV. And obviously I know that he's seen his opponents going for double Scott, so in that regard that just means the bazooka teams, in which case 2 Panther IVs would be quite an effective choice here. There's also the option he might try and play for the King Tiger, but I honestly recommend 2 Panther IVs before committing to a King Tiger here. Caught here by machine gun from everything else. This is sort of the bit where you need smoke or a lot of tanks. Need to retreat those robots on there before they get wiped out, or they're nasty from the Scott. Almost taking out the entire unit. It seems like he's setting up for something, that or he's just not realizing what the resource situation is right now. Need command from the Panther IV, of course. They are roaming bazooka teams that love to pop a lot of holes into that Panther IV, and there he does going for the second Panther IV. Now, of course, it's going to come down to how he uses them against his opponent. Second Panther IV there, slowly approaching. That machine gun needs to get out of the church fast. That is not going to last much more against the sheer weight of artillery that Nosmarkov is just launching at it as if they're insults. Folks, they need to retreat in the face of the massive cluster here of defensive elements that Nosmarkov established. And the idea here from Dilusi0n would actually be to go for the Stukas. I mean, at this stage, they're all just so bunched up that the Stukas barrage could actually theoretically end up doing some heavy damage. Dilusi0n, by the way, still needs a doctrine. Sturmpionier to assist with repairs, I imagine, so it doesn't take him age to get repaired, because in with a mechanized wing it still takes a bit of time, so if you can speed up those repairs, of course, keep the Panzer IVs more on the field, that'd be great for Dilusi0n. And of course, need to be careful about any push into the he's trying to blend cover, which is definitely not a bad idea at all. Oh, snap! Almost lost the entire unit to a single shot there from the Scott. Now the Obersoldaten is going to be the target here for a lot of artillery at close range, meaning they're going to be pretty accurate. He just needs to retreat here. Rückzug! Ooh, that was, I think, a bit too late there. Got the Panther IV headed, catching the Lieutenant. Almost on the spot there. Second Panther IV should be working with it. He should be off, I think, focusing just using the both Panther IVs. He just blast infantry senselessly. And there we go. Lost. Oh, got a wipe there. Pretty good stuff there for Dilusi0n. That is really what he needs to do now. He just needs to whittle down Nosmarkov's numbers as violently as possible, using the 2 Panther IVs and Obersoldaten working together in concert. Fortunately, I think just need to retreat in the face of the Scott. There we go, Panther IV being fixed up. North, bit of movement here. What is Dilusi0n planning here versus Nosmarkov? Hard to say. Nosmarkov are going for more echelons, possibly for even more bazookas, noting he's got a lot of munitions, but he's not doing much with it. I mean, we're not seeing any combined arms, and we're certainly not seeing any mines either, so there's certainly some room for improvement. There we go. Makedonov ambushes the Scott, but absolutely botches the ambush. Like a terribly timed surprise party. That will be with troops, but lacks a bit of volume there from the other Panther IV, which is a bit late to arrive to the party there. Makedonov needs to retreat. And Sturmpine should not be repaying the Panther IV while under fire this close to the front line. That is practically asking for the Sturmpines to get wiped there. There he goes, slowly pushing back his opponent here, attacking with the Panther IVs. So we got Morton under fire. He's getting blasted as they go here for the German armour. Machine guns just laying down a wall of fire, which Nosmarkov can't be fast. Almost got the reactions there, almost annihilated the bastards. Need to pull them back here for repairs. 33 closing eventually fleet. That'd be really great there for Dilution. We can get them to eventually fleet. The increased rate of fire is going to be pretty useful. There's all the infantry, and of course that means they get closer to the veteran 4, veteran 5, which just makes them more accurate, which is also amazing against all of his infantry. Dilution here finally going for doctrine. It's going to be Luftwaffe. If you can combine, say, a valiant assault with a good push with infantry and the Oberstein, specifically on the Panther 4, so you could probably do some serious damage to Nosmarkov. At this stage, seems to be stalling for another Pershing now. Dilution might at this stage just want to consider a third Panther 4 and just, you know, go all in on it. And their wondrous anti-infantry firepower. There we go, both Panzers gefechtsbereit. Oberstein laying down the law of the fatherland, only to find that they don't carry any jurisdiction in the face of the Scots. Seems like I'm going to try and swing up from the south here, which is actually quite open. Good move there by Dilution. It seems like Nosmarkov's catching on to what's going on there. There we go, great, and the machine gun taking down to half health. Scots blasting away there. Trying to take out the 5th Cavalry. Lots of rockets flying, most of them actually bouncing off the Panther 4s. So I'm pretty lucky there for Dilution. Panther 4s just keep bombarding there, so it's happened as Yankees. High explosive rounds and machine guns just barking away death. In this case, falling back in the face of the sheer number of bazooka rockets. Still 10 and 36 kills. Not bad at all. Almost got the fuel pond there. At least rendered neutral, slowing down Nosmarkov's income, which is definitely not bad at all. We'll see what ends up the next year for Dilution now. Catching the rations out in the open with the Panther 4s, but there you go. Lots of penetrating this time around for the Panther 4. Scotland hit their machine gun setting up. Panther 4, they're very, very close. But we got 38 kills. Almost right through, got the rations retreating. There we go, veteran fleet, veteran status, air support called in on the spot here. Trying to cause havoc here against Nosmarkov. There you go, strafing right in there, troops pinned down to the ground like insects. And there you go, forcing retreat. They're removing the strong point by the centre victory point. Very good, very good. There we go, wipe one of the mortars. Excellent work here for him. Machine gun ace not retreating. Didn't get the order through all the way though. About to get wiped out. That'd be great if we grab it. Air support going in, almost getting the Scott. Excellent work there. Panther 4 half H veteran 4 ready. Going absolutely to town here on Nosmarkov. Excellent. Oh, solid push there by Dilution. Going for the northern machine gun, shoots, misses. Bazooka team's moving up. Of course, need to go for the Panther 4 there still. Would be an absolute disaster for Dilution to lose his veteran Panzer crew like that. There's again bombarded. 44 kills in that Panzer Kampfwagen 3, other one they have 11, but setting up for the fatherland. Need to get the veteran Panzer crew fixed up, and I'm rather getting the impression he's setting up for Panther here, maybe expecting a Pershing now. Of course, could just go for a third Panther 4. But Nosmarkov is not far off there. Fuel is almost there. Manpower wise, he's suffering some losses there due to the severe number of troops he's got about. Panther 4 sending out here for Dilution. Shots fired in the 5th Cavalry. Got the sugar fire on the Panther 1. Needs to be careful with the flank there of the Panzer Kampfwagen 4. By Kednev by his veteran 4. Nice work there by Dilution. Almost got the Scott. Pulling ahead. He could take out the ambulance actually. There we go. Ambulance down from Nosmarkov. Bit of a blow to him. Panther 4 though is almost done. In the south, Oberstein hanging out. Scott moving about there, close to veteran 2. And we do see the Panther indeed here for Dilution. Pretty much figuring he's going to see a Panther up soon enough, and figuring versus the infantry. The 2 Panther 4s with the Obersoldaten, plus of course the fact one of them is veteran 3, should do the trick against Nosmarkov's infantry. And there you go, Panther 4 breaks through for the fatherland. Oberleutnant Durchbruchmüller strikes. Panther halfway down there, and suddenly a Panther backed up by 2 Panzer IVs. Could be a bit of a problem there for Nosmarkov's Pershing play. Hitting the far northern victory point. Panzer IV sets out. Sneaking up here in the south. Bit risky there, but of course can hit an isolated unit. That is not bad at all there for Dilusi0n. There we go. Got the lieutenant on the run. My god, those panzers. They're everywhere. It's like they can move. There we go. Pershing out for Nosmarkov. But Dilusi0n has the Panther. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. So this is going to get interesting there. Nosmarkov's got a ton of infantry, though Dilusi0n's not shown that either. Armor-wise, though, Dilusi0n's definitely enjoying the direct advantage. And go direct on the Pershing there from the Panther IVs. The Panther's just not firing, actually. It's the Panther getting a hit there. Panther IV's moving up. Panther's still not moving. Seems like Dilusi0n forgot he's got it. Veteran Panther crew, they're getting blasted with bazookas. Panther's still not doing anything. Go veteran E4 on the Panther IV. Panther IV with a damaged engine. Panther's still doing zip. There we go. Finally got a move on it. Nope. Scared off by the bazooka teams. He leaves the Panther IVs to take the beating. But there you go. Lieson's reports 46 kills on that Panther IV. And now he goes in with a Panther. Oh, it seemed like he did. Back here, troops in force. Now he goes in with a Panther. Direct hit on the Pershing. But the Pershing does hit back excellently on the Panther's frontal armor. Obviously need to be careful for those. 4-6, bazooka team are firing on the Panther's side armor. There you go. Another excellent hit on the Pershing. Nosmarkov needs to be more mindful of this and back to bring up some, I think, small armoured support for it. And meanwhile, most of Dilusi0n's armoured pool is in need of repairs. He's also lost a second Sturm Pioneer squad there, plus Volksgrenadier, so Dilusi0n is actually supremely short in infantry.
Alright, fellas, final checks.
Certainly something you need to be mindful of. Also on there with a bar besides the light machine gun. He's still got the other ones with the bazooka. Sending a lone Panther IV. Kind of risky there, but I'm guessing he's trying to just harass Nosmarkov here. Stole his acquisition of territory. Scott's firing, and well, really don't do anything to the Panther IV. Sturm Pioneer on the way to assist Dilusi0n with repairs. Good work. Heading for the fuel point. Almost got the Panther fixed up. Noting the pin machine being added for added anti-infantry. 192 versus 321 victory points. Nosmarkov certainly in the lead there, and the Scots are a ever-present threat to his infantry alongside the mortar. Once more, the Dilusi0n looks for the easy targets, the isolated units, so that way seeks some sort of edge there. Almost got the lieutenant, but not quite. Panther hanging back. Got the Scots hammering away. Pershing setting out. Looks like a big push here for Nosmarkov. Smoke being laid down definitely feels like a push. If you can then combine it with combined arms, it could give Dilusi0n here a very, very hard time. And so far Nosmarkov has not used combined arms or the Rangers actually make use of the rest of the doctrine, but he seemed less interested in some of the other elements. So there you go. Raketinov eventually fired by the lands, an excellent hit on the Pershing, plus the Panther joins in as well. Scott's Lisa reports on the opposite side up north. And accidentally pops the smoke. God damn it, Carl! Stop pressing the smoke discharger button. I thought it was the coffee machine. God damn it, we don't have coffee machines in these things. That's the Brits, and that's with tea. Got the Panther moving up. He's slowly approaching the ace level, 47 kills. The Oberkommando West Panther IV is a pretty solid anti-infantry vehicle if you know how to use it, of course, fight armor well too. And should not be taken lightly. There you go, just murdering those rifle necks in the work there, but Lucian in the south, obviously they grab the fuel point again. Nosmarkov, there's fleeing so much ammunition. There's definitely been a lack of mind and this is a great ability use. I mean, it's nice to see him finally use some smoke, but I really feel like Nosmarkov has failed to utilize his abilities much. I mean, they haven't even say edge wet rounds from the Pershing help deal with armor. There you go, Panther IV getting veteran 2. Pershing dealing with southern troops here, halfway to veteran 2. A wall of bazookas ready to meet anything Dilusi0n sends ahead head on. And Trade Corps says they can't easily close in either due to the sheer veterancy of the Panzer force. They can easily obliterate the reactions if they move out of cover too easily. Like for example, they stand out saying negative cover, the Panzer force can just pick them apart. So Nosmarkov, be careful here with how using an ego sense in the Panzer force. Just as he falls back. Panzer 4 hanging back, Scott's bombarding, Panzer 4 now falling back. I think he's trying to bait out the reactions. You can quickly hit them with the Panzer 4s. Or he's trying to bait out the Pershing, but it definitely feels like Dilusi0n is trying to bait out something from Nosmarkov and then murder it under his terms. And there you go, pulling it, both the reactions and the Pershing. The Panzer 4 can deal with the reactions, the Panther can open up with the Pershing. There you go, reactions being slowly obliterated, folks have got taking heavy losses. We got the Orbital moving in as well, they're close again, the reactions wiped. But once more, they do escape to live another day. Veteran Panther 4 they're being pulled back. We got the other Panther 4 with the Panther joining in here. Bazooka fire and most other fighters striking off the Panther's 80mm of sloped armor. Pershing taking heavy damage from Panther and Lekernov. Panther 4 focusing down the reactions. While the Orbital units support here as well. Could even take out the 50 cal machine gun, making it easy for other units to move forward. Reactions squad finally goes down. Better win there. Foreman Ergo moves in with the Panther. Scott's bombarding. Ambulance nearby 3 rows line of fire there. Machine guns gunning down Yankees left and right mercilessly. Slaughtering the Nego, Pershing sets back here, veteran 2 but so low in health. Still no 8-trap rounds and certainly no combined arms either. And right here, of course, the Pershing just to fight faster and all that. Why could he just would have performed better? Plus the infantry battles will also perform better. So definitely think I missed opportunity on Nosmarkov to actually use combined arms, which is a great ability to be honest. And I think really hurt Dilusi0n much harder. Instead, he forgot to use it alongside the mines, and that slowed out Dilusi0n to turn things around here. Panzer 4 the heavily damaged alongside the Panther, but that's close to veteran 2, and his Panzer's also, Panzer 4's a really pretty good situation. 50 kills by the way then on the Panzer 4. Great work there by Dilusi0n. Pershing in need of some serious repairs. Setting up with the Panzer 4. And destroying the 50 caliber. We've been ordered to destroy a set machine and give away the careless taint of the Americans. What kind of taint? Democracy. Oh my god, don't say that word out aloud. Just say the D word. Yeah, that's much safer for my ears. Scott on the way there for Nosmarkov. Interesting enough, no tank destroyers at all or anything else like that. I mean, lots of Scots that can be punished with infantry, but if your opponent sort of figured it out, it can run into mission. And clearly here that Dilusi0n has figured out Nosmarkov's force composition. In part because I feel at times Nosmarkov might actually been playing a bit too defensive, like he's just been focused around here, which in some ways can be strong, but again, if he gets kind of figured out and get played around like Dilusi0n there consistently did, it isn't quite as effective. It relies a lot on your opponent attacking it head on from a specific angle all the time, and if your opponent doesn't, some issue. But there you go, Panther gaining veteran 2 shots and added. Third Panther 4 was done, though he doesn't actually have the pop cap forward, but I'm guessing he just wants to be ready in case he loses something. He quickly just push out another Panther 4. Nosmarkov's tank hunters then the move though. Fun fact, an American tank in the team involved an anti-tank gun, a few bazookas, and then actually a mine-laying team. So that way stall up the German tanks. And Nosmarkov's definitely, I think, been missing on mines. In fact, mines have been great then, sort of, catching up the tanks and then destroying them more easily with the bazookas. So I feel like a bit of an oversight there by Nosmarkov. Whoa, massive smoke screen here from Nosmarkov. Well, it seems like he's not trying anymore here as Dilusi0n strikes for the fatherland. Personally opening up the Suki from the north here. Almost got one to Scott. Needs to surround to deal with the Pershing and the supporting infantry. Heavy damage in the Panther as Nosmarkov goes for his priority target. Similar combined arms, but again, really boosts his Pershing and the supporting infantry. Hell, even the Scots would perform a lot better with it. So, really missed opportunity. Once more, I feel like the Nosmarkov is getting obliterated. Panther's taking heavy damage. So is the Panther 4 and the Pershing. Like, everything's just taking heavy damage. Nothing's getting out of this without some sort of trauma. Base on team to down. Nosmarkov's going to really be out in terms of infantry. Pershing moving ahead. They're close to veteran 3. No 8-rep rounds still. Main gun out on the Panther. Panther 4 shoots. Other Panther moving in there. Veteran 3 bar. Also increased rate of fire. Gets the Pershing. Leaving Nosmarkov without his Pershing. Just with Scots and a few bits of infantry. There we go. We got the third Panzer 4 out there. A full Panzer 4 platoon here. And there you go. GG from Dilusi0n. Calling the final GG. The proper GG, I guess. Scott down. 35 kills on the Panther 4 as well. 53 on the other one. Panther with 8 kills. Not bad at all here. So with this, I think Nosmarkov is kind of dead in the water. And Dilusi0n has managed to sort of pull through here with a pretty solid victory. Including a lot of veteran Panther 4s. I mean, he managed to soon have 2 veteran 5 Panther 4s, which is definitely not common, but certainly I think highlights some well play there by Dilusi0n. Smoke screen down. Less than 200 points left from Nosmarkov. Ace Panther going for the Scott. There you go, snipes for Johnny. With an excellent hit there. Scott tries, but ultimately, doesn't really do much except just kick up dirt on the Panzer 4. Fixing up the Panzers. Panther being receiving repairs back at base. So yeah, lots of veteran Panzers here for Dilusi0n. Certainly a bit of a different strategy here from Nosmarkov. And again, I feel like could have worked had he just been sharper with his ability usage. And a bit more aggressive. I feel like part of it's just not great ability use again, like mines, no use of combined arms, but also at times it just felt like he was just playing it, I think, possibly a bit too confidently, and just he could sit back and just, let Dilusi0n smash himself to death against Nosmarkov. And if you really want to do that, you kind of need Jacksons, but he never went for those, and there you go. And almost hit that 25 there on the Panther 4 right before the match ends. Destroying the mortar. Lots of bazooka fire on the Panther 4 there. Jason's advancing, hoping to take out that crap Panzer. Got the vehicle crews there now roped in as well as a bazooka team. We got a try on the way there and we go. GG, game over. A loss for America. Victory of the 15th Panzer going to be shown. Heavy losses there on both sides. Then the end, Dilusi0n again pulled through due to the aforementioned things. Good use of the Panzer 4s I think was critical. The Overland I think also played a nice role, though at times they struggle a bit. And ultimately again just the mistakes Nosmarkov made. Again, failed to defensive and a lack of mines and combined arms overall made it much harder to successfully execute the strategy, allowing again Dilusi0n to operate his Panzer Force much more freely and with less worries from anything. That way just I think destroy Nosmarkov better. Again, Nosmarkov made more effective use of his abilities. I think he could have won this pretty well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. Hope it gives you some matches, some ideas, some tactics, some strategies. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Spread the word of the Propagandacast. If you like what we do, you can also donate or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial Links and Cheese. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another sunny episode. Bye.